But
How you doing?
yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I can't complain. Did you have a good
You're in,
weekend?
I did. How about you? You're in Kansas, right? You said?
Yeah, I'm in Kansas City, and you're out in LA. Yeah,
Nice. I'm actually in Vegas.
you're in Vegas, my
Yeah, I was
hometown.
born in what?
That's my hometown.
For real?
Yeah, I
Dang.
came to Kansas City from Vegas.
Oh, what made you move?
So, college was one. I went to the University of Kansas, but I basically just needed to get as far away from my parents as humanly possible
Okay,
as an
I
18-year-old
get
kid.
that. I get
Yeah,
that.
as like an 18-year-old,
True.
snot-nosed kid, I was like, all right, peace, I'm moving 1,500 miles away. But
I know, right?
but now I kind of wish I was back there. I went to the Southwest a couple weeks ago and loved it, and I'm kind of itching to
hmm
go back. You were born and raised in Vegas, right?
Yeah, born and raised. Pretty much been here my whole life. Hopefully I'll be moving to LA soon though, just for music, you know.
Yeah,
That's really like the place that I want to be, and it'll still be so close to home. Like if I ever want to drive back, I can.
yeah.
Yeah, I personally like Vegas, but I also get what you mean about like trying to be independent, get away from the parents a little bit.
Yeah, it's natural. As a
Yeah,
adolescent kind of kid moving far away. But then you start to realize how important family is and being
yeah.
there. Is it just you there? Is your family there too still?
Yeah, my family's here. I live with my family. So
Nice.
I have two siblings, a brother who just went to college. So he's in Arizona. He was
Oh
ready
wow.
to get out of here.
There you
Yeah,
go. Yeah.
right. And then I have a 10-year-old sister. So she's got a long ways to go.
Oh wow. So are
Yeah.
you the middle child or the oldest?
I'm the oldest.
Cool. What's that like?
Yeah. My parents expect me to, be the most responsible. I come from an Asian household, so, like just obedience and respect and
Oh
responsibility is all
man.
very important. So
And you were the first
yeah,
one, so they were
right.
super strict on you.
Oh, exactly. I mean, they're still like pretty strict. I'm 21, so I think now they're like slowly trying to, let me go. And they're like, okay, you're an adult, but still, they're just, I don't know,
They're
because
still your
they,
parents.
yeah, they're still, the parents, and they love me. They're overprotective sometimes, but it's because they love me. But
That's good.
I mean, by the time it's my sister's turn, I'm sure they'll be like, do whatever you want. Like, I don't.
Exactly. I kind of got a feeling for that because I'm the youngest in my family.
Okay.
So they went pretty hard on my brother. He's the oldest, and then
Mm,
my sister is kind of like the golden child. She can do no wrong.
okay.
And then I got babied for the
Oh,
first half of my life, and then I'm 25 now, and I'm still getting lectures from my mom.
oh
Yeah, it's
no,
something
I'm
that you don't really want to go away. It's kind of like a reminder that they care,
yeah, that's
although it is
true. That's
annoying.
true. I know.
And I
I
know they're
feel
gonna listen
that.
to this, and I'm sorry, mom and dad. It's just
We
the
love
truth.
you, mom and dad.
We love you. Shout out to the parents.
Exactly.
So today on the podcast we have Angel from Las Vegas.
Yeah, what's up, guys?
So before we go into what you're doing now and all the music that you've been pumping out in 2020, I like to take it back to the beginning. When you were first getting your
Mhm.
start, and kind of get your story and how you found music and fell into this thing.
Yeah, well, pretty much. I've been doing music my whole life. Like, when I was 5, I started taking piano lessons. So my mom introduced me. That's kind of how I was introduced to music. And after doing piano for a while, she actually wanted me to be a dancer, but I just
Oh wow,
hated that.
yeah.
And I kind of regret it though, because now I have like two left feet. So doing the dancing would have been nice. But I was like, I just want to sing, mom. And she's
Mhm.
like, okay, well then sing for me because I don't know if you have like any talent. And apparently I did. And she was
Wow.
like, okay. So she started putting me in actually opera lessons from the age of 8.
What?
And I still sing it, just that's not really the path I'm trying to go down. But I
No,
still have
no,
that
man.
like skill under my belt.
Yeah.
And that's and then throughout like elementary, middle school, high school, I always just said music was still all that I wanted to do, and here I am at 21, and still that's the plan. So there
You
has
still
never
love
really
it?
been, yeah, I still love it, and being able to put out music, that makes me happy. So
Yeah.
I'm just gonna keep rolling with it, and hopefully, it'll click.
You've come a
Yeah,
long way, from
yeah,
opera lessons and
yeah,
starting at such a young age. That's so
for
cool that
real.
you've kept
Yeah.
up with it and that you still love it. And I'd say your style is different than an opera singer's style. I'm
Oh
glad that
yeah,
you
for
went
sure.
the path that you went down. Not that
For
opera is not
sure.
cool. It's just not. It's not popping right now.
I know. Yeah, maybe like when I'm in my 40s and I'm like, you know what? I'm done with like R&B. I'm gonna just like join some opera like plays. That
Yeah,
could be a thing,
that could be cool.
but
I don't even know if their opera, like where opera happens, like,
yeah, I mean, I'm sure they're because I know that they do, different productions of like musicals, opera musicals,
yeah.
but I don't know if they do them here. But I think in San Francisco, I've heard it's a big thing there, and I'm sure
Okay, yeah,
who knows, maybe like New York or something. But we'll
definitely,
see
yeah.
when the time comes.
We'll see. But in the meantime, the R&B thing, um,
For sure.
it just seems
Yeah.
like it fits. Um,
Yeah.
you've put out a lot of music 2020. You've been really active this year so far.
I'm trying. I actually am planning to drop my first EP ever this year, which is
Wow.
written and produced by me. So I'm super excited. Yeah,
Wow.
2020, I'm trying to make the most of it, especially my career wise.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just like put out as much as I can, really.
Well, that's awesome. I think that's the right attitude to have, kind of while everything is on pause for the world. It's a really cool
True,
time to like be working on yourself and your music.
100%.
And your EP is written and produced by you. That's amazing.
Yeah, thank you. I actually do produce all of my songs, except
Wow.
the first song that I ever put out on Spotify. That was produced by my friend. But after that, all of them have been produced and written by me. So
Wow.
I like just being really involved with my music,
Yeah.
and I think it's really cool to be able to produce for myself, just so I don't necessarily have to rely on other people.
Yeah.
And yeah, by that I mean like whatever I'm hearing in my head, I can just, instead of trying to explain it to someone else, I can
Yeah.
kind of make it because I know exactly what I'm looking for. But eventually I'd really want to produce and write for other people too.
Oh
I think
wow.
that'd be super cool.
That would be
So
awesome.
yeah,
The production thing is really interesting to you.
a
You
hundred
enjoy
percent.
producing beats.
Yeah, I do. And I know that in the music industry there aren't that many female producers out there. So hopefully, I can it can just help me further like in my
Yeah.
career to like establish myself as an artist, and
And then
hopefully
lead the
like
way.
hopefully promote even more females to do this and have it be a normal thing, because the music industry is mostly male dominant. It would be cool to have more females, in the game.
It would be so cool. And
Yeah.
you're right in saying that. I can't think of too many like female producers, and I don't know why that is. It's so male dominated, I
Yeah.
think. Do you
Yeah.
think it's just
Super
that,
true.
men just kind of swooped in and took as many pieces of the pie as they could, and now females and have to kind of fight for every scrap they can get?
Yeah. I don't actually, that's a really good question. I never really thought about why the industry is the way it is. It could be possible that producing is like, mostly when we think about like the singer, the artist, you'll
Hmm.
think about, the female pop star,
Yeah.
she's taking that lead role. But as for production, I don't know why.
Yeah.
I
It's
kind of
usually like
mostly
it's
think of like guys doing that, but
yeah. I think you're right. It's you think of like the pop star coming in and like Mariah Carey coming to a studio
mm,
session and someone just playing a beat for her, maybe handing her like the lyrics and saying
true,
go. But it gives you so much power as an artist to
a hundred
make the
percent,
beat,
yeah.
to be able to, write your lyrics and write what is in your heart, and then being able to really dictate the whole process. I think that puts you in a really
Yeah.
cool position.
Yeah, and it saves me a lot of money.
Yeah,
I mean, not because
it's
making music
true.
is expensive. So
It
I
is.
mean, right now, as I'm like on the come up, I'm definitely trying to do as much as I can,
Yeah.
um, just so that I can afford to do like what I love doing for sure. But
Yeah.
yeah, being able to produce for myself is just, it definitely makes the music a lot more meaningful to me because it's like
Yeah.
totally my creation.
Yeah. So what's the music making process like for you? Is it, whatever you're feeling that day, you just sit down and start writing
Yeah,
that song?
it's usually a day-to-day type thing, kind of depending on how I'm feeling, because I don't actually like write or produce every day. It's for me, especially with songwriting, I kind of have to be in, I don't know, a mood or
Yeah.
just emotionally in a place where I can like write whatever story I'm trying to tell that day.
Yeah.
But usually, I don't know. Sometimes I just make a beat first and then write something to that.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I'll have a lyric or a melody pop up in my head. I'm like, okay, let me record this like in my voice memo so I can remember it. And then
Yeah.
I'll create a beat to that. So
Wow.
it all kind of different to
Yeah.
me.
That's so interesting. So no 2 days are the same, and because you have
Yeah.
so many different sounds. I have listened to all your tracks, and
Oh,
some
thank
are like
you.
true R&B, like party next door kind of like vibes, black vibes, and then some
Mm,
are like turn up songs, like you could hear at the club.
yeah.
It's so interesting
Yeah.
that you can go in both those directions, and it's usually
Thank
based on how you're
you.
feeling.
It is. I mean, the songs that I've put out so far are all singles, and
Mhm.
that was kind of my way of like experimenting with my sound, just because it did take me a while. I started putting out original music under my name Angel in
Mhm.
2018. So from then to now, that really has been the time that I was experimenting with my sound,
Yeah.
in all aspects, like production wise, songwriting
Mhm.
wise. And I finally have found that R&B lane that I want to be in,
Yeah.
and that's what this future EP that'll be releasing this year is all about. I wanted to finally have a first project out where people can listen to it and be like, okay, this is what she's trying to do. Like, this is her sound.
Yeah. So, how would you describe your sound? That might be super hard to do.
It is a tough question, but I would say, dang, yeah, I've thought about this myself. Well, for the EP, the
Yeah.
sound I'm going for is definitely um, R&B, but I would say kind of more on the alternative side.
Oh,
So we
cool.
have like a lot of, piano, guitar sounds, not so many
A lot of instruments.
synthetic, right? More so like guitar, piano,
Yeah.
kind of, I guess I would say like Kehlani, Janae Coast, SZA, Georgia Smith, like all of those in
Yeah.
one. That's what I'm trying to encapsulate.
And I
Yeah.
totally hear all those artists and all those influences
Oh,
um,
thank
in
you.
the music. So obviously, 2020 has been weird,
I
but
know it's
you're
been really weird.
it's been crazy, and I noticed that you kind of made it your own and took advantage of this like weird quarantine situation by
Right.
putting out your song "Quarantine Queen." Um,
Yeah.
how did that all come around?
Well, I definitely wanted to write something that was super relative to everything happening this year,
Mhm.
but I wanted to write something a little bit more lighthearted and uplifting because I know, especially like in March when I like started writing it, um, there was just so much depressing stuff on the news, and I didn't want to add to like that depressive like
Yeah,
feeling.
yeah,
So Quarantine Queen was kind of like a cute idea I came up with. Like, oh, I want to be someone's quarantine queen. Like, I want to be someone's day during this time and like talk to them over FaceTime, get to know
yeah,
them, have little like whatever Zoom dates or however we
Yeah.
could do it online, right?
Yeah.
And it was my first collab that I put out on my page with a good friend of mine, Dana Mar. He's out in LA, and he just, I knew he would be perfect for the song because that like cute type of sound, like he does so well.
Yeah.
So he and we produced a track together. We wrote it together, and I think it's a really cute song. And
It
yeah,
is. It's a super sweet song. I was playing it and my girlfriend was like, "Oh, I love that
oh,
song." And
oh,
it
I'm
it
glad.
it makes the crazy kind of like dreary situation that we're in. Sometimes it can feel like we're like locked, in our houses.
Absolutely, yeah.
But, I think that you looked at it through such a cool, like rose-colored lens and saw
I
the
try.
positive of all this, which is that now is kind of a cool time to really get to know someone and get to know
100%,
yourself too.
yeah.
Have you have you been enjoying your quarantine? Have things been going well? Are you kind of stir
Um,
crazy, ready to get out?
I honestly, I'm ready to get out, but I know that we're gonna kind of be in this whole situation for who knows, maybe the rest of the year or even
Yeah,
into 2021.
no one knows.
Yeah, like I think the beginning of quarantine, it definitely was pretty hard for me just
Yeah.
because I love being surrounded by friends. That's one of
Hmm.
the things that
Yeah.
definitely makes me happy. So not being able to do that was really tough. I mean, thank God we like live in a day and age where we have FaceTime. We don't have to like
Thank God.
write
What
letters
would we
to our
do?
friends.
What would we do if we didn't have like FaceTime
Oh
or
my
Zoom?
God.
It'd be so
I,
hard.
that would be really hard. I don't even know what I would do, but
It's
yeah,
nice having
I
those tools be there to like kind of feel like you're
right,
hanging out, even though it's
hundred
totally
percent.
different than like
Yeah.
actually hanging out. I was thinking the other day how much I miss like kickbacks and like
Me
just
too.
meeting up at someone's place with a bunch of friends and
Yeah.
enjoying some music and getting ready to like go do something fun. I forgot
I
what
know.
parties feel like,
I know. This is so crazy, but every time I watch movies or TV shows and I see like a party scene, I'm like,
Yeah.
whoa, like those were the olden days. Like we can't do that anymore.
Yeah,
It's
seriously.
so crazy.
Every time I see people
Crazy.
on TV, like wearing masks, and like there are
Mhm.
certain shows that the word quarantine kind of pops up,
I
or
know. I'm like, whoa, that's weird.
I'm like, what? It's like that now.
I know. I know. I feel you on that for sure. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's super crazy, and getting through this is it's like a day to day kind of thing, and
It really is.
I'm glad that I'm using this time to meet new artists and meet new people, and I'm glad that you're using
Yeah,
this time to work on your music, work on that
definitely.
EP. Um,
Yeah.
are you an independent artist or are you on a label?
Well, right now I am still independent, but my music is distributed under Warner Music Philippines actually. I'm half
Oh wow,
Filipino, so yeah, so in
that's amazing.
2019, thank you. Yeah, in 2019 I went over to the Philippines and was trying to see what music opportunities I could get there just because here in the States, like it's a very, you need connections type
Yeah,
business and we just don't have any.
yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, let me go to the Philippines and see what's up. I had a cousin that like kind of helped put me in contact with different like opportunities, doors
Mhm.
opening for me. So I met up with a few labels, but I ended up choosing Warner because they were so comforting and like really just down for me to be creative and free in the music aspect of making whatever I want.
Wow.
And yeah, even though I'm still independent, I'm definitely trying to take full advantage of
Hmm.
the opportunities that I can get with Warner and just make the most of like the time that I have with them. Yeah.
Wow. So you went all the way to the Philippines and hustled your way
Mhm.
into a distribution deal with like the biggest music label
Yeah,
on
it's
earth. That's
crazy.
amazing. Look at
Yeah, thank
you. That's
you.
great. That's like
Yeah.
that hustling kind of like grind that's gonna get you super far. And you're collaborating with all these artists. I see you mentioned Dane, and you
Mhm.
also jumped on a song with Malli, right?
I did, yeah. He
Most
is an
recent.
artist in the Philippines with Sony. So
Oh,
I got
cool.
to meet him while I spent time there in the Philippines. He produces as well, and we just became friends. And he brought this song idea to me, and I just absolutely love the sound because that song, "Get It On," is
Mhm.
definitely like the true R&B kind of vibe that I'm trying to be in.
Yeah, and
So
it
that was
sounds like
such a
you two like really you guys were like perfect on that song. I caught the
thank
vibe
you.
instantly. I think that you shine on that song.
Oh,
You're like
thank
the best part of the
you.
song, honestly.
Oh, thank you.
And that's your most recent single, right?
Yeah, it is.
And
So,
are you are you receiving a lot of buzz from that?
yeah, people were actually definitely receiving the song really well. I think it's one of the fastest growing singles that I have put out so far. And I think it's
Yeah.
definitely a lot of help with like Molly's like listening too. But
Mhm.
a lot of people were telling me they really like that sound from me, which just helps me kind of further find out what people want to hear from me. And
Yeah.
I'm glad it's like that R&B sound because that's what I'm trying to do
Yeah.
anyways. And this month, August 28th, I'm actually releasing my first single off the EP,
Oh
which
wow.
definitely is very similar to that type of sound of the last single.
So August 28th, first
Yeah.
singles coming out from the album or from the EP.
Yeah.
And then you got kind of a rollout planned and a date in mind to
Mhm.
drop the project and take
Yeah.
the world by storm.
Yeah, we have some kind of plans of the next few singles to drop before the whole EP drops. I'm aiming right now for like a November release for the EP. Like, I feel like, I don't know, the EP to me just sounds very November. I don't know how to
Yeah.
explain it, but I'm like, this is perfect
Fall
for
vibes.
November. Yeah, fall vibes for sure.
Yeah. And then going into the winter, that's when I listen to most of my R&B and kind of like
Yeah,
dark room
I know.
music.
It just hits
It's something
for the,
about the cold weather
I know, right?
that sounds really nice. So obviously you mentioned that you're going for kind of like this R&B vibe. Kalani, Janae, are those guys are probably a couple of your influences, right? The people that you try and sound.
Yeah, definitely. Kaylani is my absolute like favorite artist of all time. It's just my dream to work with her. I'm trying to manifest that so hard. Like
Put it on
I
the
love her.
universe.
Yeah, she's my
I can
absolute
see her jumping on a song with you. I can
oh
see
gosh.
that kind of connection. Um, what so sorry, I had a question in mind.
No, you're good.
That's so cool that you're going for that and you're kind of putting it out into the
Oh,
universe.
definitely. I That'll definitely be just like a dream of mine, one of my goals for sure to
She's so dope.
even just meet her.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she seems like the coolest girl.
she does. She is such like a beautiful soul and her music is so amazing. I mean, I just literally love every single song that she puts out. She
Yeah.
cannot do any wrong for me. Like, I just love her.
And you guys are both from the West Side,
Oh, true.
both repping West Coast.
Yeah, so hopefully one day I'll get to meet her,
Yeah.
that would be so sick.
Maybe in the future when the world gets back to normal, you guys
I
can
know, right?
tour together
For
even.
real. Oh God, that would just I'm getting really excited right now thinking about that. Like
Yeah,
that would be amazing.
that'll be awesome. And I'm sure it's gonna happen. It's just a matter of
Oh,
time.
amen. I'm praying for that. I'm
Yeah.
praying for that.
We're all about putting good vibes into the universe
Oh
and
yes.
manifesting it.
Right, manifesting it 100%. Yeah.
Do you have like a kind of like a motto or, some sort of vibe that you live your life by?
Okay, this is very cheesy, but honestly, like you only live once. That's YOLO. I
Yeah,
know it's so cliche, but it's true.
it
And
is true.
aside from like, having just one life, another thing I live by is like, the worst thing anyone could say is no. So you might as well
Yeah.
go for it. Cause really, yeah, the worst thing could happen is that someone says no and, you move on to the next opportunity or door. So I guess, yeah, just like going after what you want, even if, you might be nervous or scared, like, we got one life, so just have to make
Yeah,
the most of
why
it.
not? You know, those are
Yeah.
both really good ways to live your life. And um, YOLO might have gotten cheesy throughout
I
the years, but
know.
it's totally true. And it's something that I like to
Right.
live my life by as well.
Nice.
I have worked like jobs where I'm kind of just dreading every day, and
Yeah.
been in situations where I'm really stressed out. And at the end of the day,
Mhm.
you're only living this life once, and to
Yeah.
make the most of it every day and like do what makes you happy. I think
Mhm.
you'll end your life and like years and years and years down the road, you'll look back and be able to be like, okay, I really made the most of it. I
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
squeezed that lemon for all the juice that it
For
has.
real. I just don't want to regret anything. Yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely want to, you know, look down, I don't know, when I'm like 70, 80 years old, look back at my life and just not really regret anything.
Yeah. Be like, that was a dope life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
And a big supporter and proponent of shooting your shot, right? And
Oh yeah, I advocate for that for sure.
yeah.
Shoot your shot, and I say this, to all the females out there, too. Don't be shy. If
Mhm.
shoot your shot at whatever opportunity, whether it's a guy or a girl or whatever job opportunity, like just
Mhm. Yeah.
go out there and give it a whirl, give it a try.
Exactly. You never know. The worst case is a no, and then you're back where you started.
Exactly. Yeah, and then you'll just go find a different door to open.
Exactly. It always works out in
Yeah.
the end. And if it hasn't
Mhm.
worked out, then it's probably not the end yet.
True. Yeah, I'm also a big believer in everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
So when things don't work out one way, there'll be other ways for you to figure it out. Or
Yeah.
maybe it wasn't meant to happen that way.
Yeah. Life is kind of like a road, I feel like. And,
Yeah.
you'll come across like roadblocks and detours and bumps in the
Hmm.
road, but there's never like, it never ends. You just kind of keep finding your path
True.
following that.
Yeah, for sure. I
We've
agree with that
we've
100%.
entered into all the cliches, I think.
I know. We're like talking
I
about some
love
deep
cliches.
life things here. Me
Yeah.
too. It's
Something
a
about
cliche for a reason.
Yeah, because they're true and everyone believes it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then there's something about like, this time in our lives that we're all going through together where you really need to find the silver linings and live life,
Yeah.
to the best of your abilities and to the fullest.
Yeah.
And stay positive,
Especially,
you know?
yeah, especially during a time like this, I think it's important to try to make the most of it. And I know it's really hard. I Like I was saying earlier, especially during the beginning of the whole quarantine thing, it was really hard for me. But the past few months, I've definitely been trying to make the most of the time that I have to just kind of
Mhm.
sit with myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just try to be as positive as possible because
Yeah.
it's definitely really strange, like historical times. This is so crazy. So
So crazy.
gotta try to make the most of it.
Yeah, and stay positive. It's sometimes
Right.
hard to do, but it's the most important, I think, and
Yeah, I
really
agree.
getting through this. Um, I always like to ask guests, and it can be a hard question to answer, but what
Okay.
is one thing about you, about Angel, that we, the listeners, don't know yet?
Okay, let me think about this. Um,
It could be your favorite food. It could be,
okay.
an embarrassing story from your childhood.
Um, okay. Yeah, many things are coming to like my brain right now. Like
I'm sure.
anything, like just random, like
Yeah,
anything.
anything that you want the listeners to know about
Okay.
you, so when they're listening to, It's Not Me, It's You, or one of your singles, they're like,
Okay.
oh, that's cool. Now I know a little bit more about. There's another layer to this onion.
Okay. Well, I would say, again, sounds a little bit corny, but I'm a Pisces. So they say about Pisces that, we're really emotional, like sensitive people, which I will agree to that. I definitely am
You're
a
emotional.
very like emotional, sensitive person, but I'm really in touch with my emotions.
That's
And
cool.
I like being really communicative about them with people. Like whether that's friendships or like romantic relationships or just in general, I'm pretty open about my feelings, how I feel.
Yeah.
And with my music especially, all of the songs really are just reflections of something I've personally gone through, kind of like, I don't know, I guess like mini journal entries, if you want to say.
Yeah, definitely.
And yeah, and I definitely treat my music as a way for me to kind of like let go and express whatever I'm feeling. I know a lot of people, they might like to like, journal or something to get it out, but
Yeah.
music is my way of kind
Yeah.
of letting go of things. So yeah, definitely all my music is really personal to me in that sense too, because they're literally stories of my life that have, experiences that I've been through. So yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely tell in the music that it's how you're feeling. You wear your heart on your sleeve.
I
Um,
do.
I did not know that about Pisces. It must be the opposite about Libras, which is what I am.
Oh, my
Because
best friend's a Libra.
I am terrible at emotions. I basically spent my, first 21 years of life just bottling everything. And then
Oh,
only recently have I learned how to, actually communicate with people and tell
yeah.
them how I'm
I
feeling
mean,
and stuff. It's a
no,
skill
it's
that I'm
definitely,
working on.
yeah. I mean, it's definitely not an easy thing. I feel like a lot of people in general,
Yeah.
we kind of keep our emotions in, or
Yeah.
we don't really like being too vulnerable with people. And I think that's just because, we go through stuff in life, like
Hmm.
whatever, if it's like betrayal or heartache. And
Yeah.
I know I definitely have gone through probably too many like painful experiences romantically, but
Yeah.
still I want to like wear my heart on my sleeve just because I don't
You're
know,
not
that's just
gonna put up walls. That's not your
I
personality.
no I try, I really don't, when I'm getting to know somebody, I really do just like put myself out there fully, and if they accept me for who I am, that's great. And if they don't, then that just shows me that that's not somebody that's meant to be in my life. And
Yeah.
that, I think that really, yeah, thinking that way has helped me a lot because I want to be myself unapologetically
Hmm.
and be surrounded by people that will accept that and love that. And if someone wants to judge me for the way I am, or doesn't like that, then they don't have to be in my life. I wouldn't want someone like that anyways.
Exactly. And I think all
Yeah.
the artists that you talked about, like Kalani, definitely doesn't care what anyone else thinks.
Oh yeah.
If someone doesn't fuck with her, then you know they're not supposed to be around.
True. Hmm.
That's awesome. Um, so Angel, you've got a new song dropping in a
Yeah.
couple days, 4 days.
Yeah.
You've got tons of music up on Spotify and Apple Music. If you haven't listened to her yet, it's ANJL on Spotify and Apple Music.
Yeah.
We got the EP coming out soon. I really appreciate you stopping by and having a conversation with us. It was really nice
Yeah.
talking.
Thank you for inviting me onto the podcast.
Yeah,
This was super fun. Yeah.
and we'll be keeping track of your music as it keeps dropping, and I'm sure we'll talk again really soon.
Yes,
Hopefully,
for sure.
in a different spot. Maybe you're
Right.
out in LA by then, or maybe the world is open back up.
Yeah,
But
I hope so.
in the meantime, I'm so glad that you're staying positive and that you're
Oh,
working on
thank
the music.
you.
And it was great getting to know you a little bit better.
Yeah, you too. Definitely. Thank you.
All right, everyone. Angel, thanks for stopping
Yeah.
by.
Thank
All
you.
right. Talk to you soon.
Talk
Peace.
to you soon. Take care.
You too. Bye
Bye.
bye.